Aloha and mahalo for joining me. I'm Janet and welcome to the Called to Create podcast. I am here to help you ladies unlock your creative potential and use your God-given gifts and start a business. Because you were called to create and you have so much to share, and the world needs your creative gifts to be shared right now, ladies. Let's do this. Okay, today I'm going to talk about the questions people have about having a business and things that kind of get in the way, because there's so much of the unknown when you don't know something about a specific subject or something that you've never done before. Now, these are real questions, and these are things that can stop you in your tracks or stop you from even getting started. And the first question that people have is, what if I have fear and self-doubt? Now, that is probably the number one thing that stops people from even getting started, because as human beings, I think we tend to have fear about a lot of things. And when you're going to start something new and you're not even sure on how to do it or what to do, that fear just kind of pops up and shows its ugly head, right? And I'm sure you've experienced that with other things too. And the doubt, it seems like fear and doubt just kind of team up. They're like a team, which I don't know why. But how I want you to think about that is that fear is something that people try to conquer all the time. But I want you to think about this for a minute. Like, if you've ever gone to high school, gone to a physical high school. Now, I know a lot of families, they homeschool their kids, and even, way back when. But if you've ever gone to high school, like ninth grade is usually the average grade that high schools start. Do you ever remember having that fear going into this? You've never been there, right? So you go into this unknown. Oh my gosh, all you hear is there's a lot of kids, there's a lot of unknowns, there's a lot of subjects that you have to take that maybe, you don't like. And it just causes stress, right? And anxiety and doubt. And you just wonder oh my gosh, am I gonna die? Now, take yourself back just for only a quick second, because that was real for me. It was I did not like high school. And the fear of going into high school is even worse, going from middle school, because you're so young at that point and nobody prepares you to enter high school. Now, I don't know if anybody can or could have prepared someone for high school, but it's really hard. Okay, think about how you were feeling at the time, and you probably have experienced maybe a whole another range of feelings too. But fear is always at the bottom of everything we experience. And so think about what happened. Like, you had this fear and doubt and whatever, but you did it anyway. You had to go to high school, you had to go to school every day, and you did it anyway. Now, you didn't die. Some days you probably felt like you were gonna die. Like, I remember feeling oh my gosh, am I gonna live? Because you just see all these older kids, especially if you're in ninth grade, you see all these upperclassmen, and you know how it is, right? Upperclassmen tend to look at the freshmen like, you're nothing, stay out of my way. Those are bad memories. You don't want to hang on to that. But take yourself to that place where you did it anyway. And so that's what I want to say to you about when you have this dream of starting your own business or just an interest in it, but these fears and doubts just kind of show its ugly head to you very often. Just remember that you can do it. You're just, take that first step and you'll work your way through it. And there's nothing bad that's going to come of it. It's just that fear. You have to step over the fear, step on the fear, and just do it anyway. Because unless you're really super at and master that skill of getting over the fear, or not even having fear, rather, just do it. Because once you take that first step, it's almost like you're stepping on the fear and just getting that fear out, just getting it out of your life. Okay. And the doubt, the more you do, the more the doubt tends to go away, because the more you learn and the more steps you take and implement all these things that you're learning, the more the self doubt just seems to kind of go away. Because when you have doubt, is because you're not sure. Like if you have the knowledge, you're not sure if you can do it, maybe you're not sure of yourself. But once you have success in small steps, then it's easy to let go of the doubt. Okay, and another question that people have that tends to stop them or prevent them from starting a business is, what if no one buys my stuff? Like if you want to sell something, or what if someone doesn't sign up for my class? So in episode 107, I talked a lot about how you can teach classes online, a skill that you have or something that you know. So if you ever have that thought of like, well, what if nobody buys my stuff that I'm selling and making and selling, or what if nobody signs up for my class? You tend to have these thoughts just round and round, and it just keeps going and repeating itself. So what I would say to you is, just take that step, just like the fear and the doubt. Just take that step forward. Just prepare yourself for what you're going to do, what you're going to sell. Just take all the necessary steps to get there. And don't worry about if nobody's going to buy your stuff, because somebody will buy your stuff, or somebody will sign up for your class and take your classes. Because I have met people who are doing really interesting things online that I never ever thought that anybody could do. Like there's somebody that has a knitting business. She teaches people how to knit online. There's somebody that teaches how to crochet online. I mean, I would have never thought that somebody would do something like that and they could have a successful business online, but they do. So just keep moving forward. Okay, you have to just trust the process, where if you keep taking steps and moving forward, you'll be able to have and see success and have people be interested in what you're doing and buying your stuff or signing up for your class. Okay, trust me, you just have to keep moving forward. Okay, so another real question is, what if my life is so busy that I don't know when I'm gonna have time? Now, there are some of you who are still working but are interested in having a business on the side. And of course, there are some who are not working right now, or who are out of work. But this question is more for somebody who is working but is interested in starting a business of some kind, whether it's part-time or transitioning into a full-time business. So I talk a lot about how, when I was teaching about money management and things like that, or various things. So what you have to do is you have to make sure that you schedule your time. Now, there's different techniques that people call it, like time blocking, keeping track of your time, all of that kind of stuff. Whatever term you want to use it, because what you have to do is schedule your day. And if you do this for a week, because you may be against it, thinking, oh my gosh, like, no, that's going to be so restricting. It's actually opposite, because if you've ever tried it, you'll realize when you time block your day and you schedule things out, whether it's in like a digital planner or in your calendar on your phone or an actual physical planner, it's amazing, because you're more aware of how much time you're spending on each thing and how much time you're wasting and all of that. So what I would suggest is to just try it for 1 week and time block your day. So everything that you do, you're going to put that in your calendar, and versus like taking the time to eat, or if you have to drive to work and your commute is like an hour, put that in your calendar. And your hours at work, if it's 8 hours, put that in your calendar. If you start work at 9 to 5 you're working, and then maybe from 5 to 6 you're commuting home, and then what are you doing from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock? So if you actually take the time to write out everything that you're doing in your calendar, I can guarantee you'll be able to find at least 30 minutes to 60 minutes a day where you can spend on creating your business. Because it doesn't take much time if you spend a specific amount of time every day and you're consistent to working on your business or things that you love. And I can guarantee that you probably are wasting time too, like scrolling on social media or surfing the internet, right? I do that too. I find that I'm wasting time each day doing all these things. Or sometimes people spend just like 2 hours a night watching TV, and you will be able to find time that you could use working on something that's important to you versus just wasting it, just mind numbing things like sitting in front of the TV or just scrolling online. So take the time to think about these things. And of course, there's always more questions, but those are kind of like the top questions that will stop you from fulfilling a dream or starting a business. And it will prevent you from starting a business. That's for sure. Now, I can say that I've had doubts in the beginning, like, oh my gosh, can I do this? I don't know anything about it. How do you have a business online, right? All these things, and it just plays and plays over and over, and you have to be careful because it can make you crazy. When you just keep thinking these thoughts, okay, it doesn't help you. So take a moment and just write down. I always suggest in the morning, write down in a notebook what's going on, what are the thoughts in your head. You have to get it out so when you see it, it's more real and you can deal with it, versus when it's just up here, it'll just make you crazy. But when you put it out in writing, you can see, okay, this is what I'm thinking and feeling, and this is what's happening, and you're able to just manage it and deal with it much better. So if you have any questions, let me know. And there are way too many more questions because everyone is so different and everyone has their own fears and doubts and questions and things like that. But we're in a day and age where now is the best time to get started on your dream, or get started on starting a business or anything like that, because I am here to help you design and create a life and a business that works best for you, so that you get excited to wake up every day and have something to work towards. And we need to be excited about our lives because it's easy to get into that daily grind. So think about this. If you need help, let me know. Send me a direct message. I'm here to help you. And also, if you know you're ready to get started, to start a business, whether it's part-time or full-time business of your own, I do have a business starter kit that will guide you through setting up your business and getting started. So click on the link in the show notes, and I would love for you to actually share with me like your ideas of what kind of business you want to have. I think it's just amazing all the things that people come up with that they want to do. It's just really fascinating. And please share this podcast with anyone who you know would get great value out of listening to it. Or if you know anyone that wants to start a creative business, please send this podcast their way. I would really appreciate that. And I want to ask you a favor. If you can please take a minute to rate and review this podcast. And if you're listening to this podcast in the Apple Podcast app, you can rate and review this show right there at the bottom. So as soon as you open my show, you can just scroll down all the way to the bottom and you can rate and review it right there, because reviews are so important and they tell potential listeners and Apple that this show is worth listening to. And I would really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And have a great day, ladies. Take care of yourself. Aloha.